Hey suppers, this season there's a few things change underfoot. We're going to see more of these on the water. You've no doubt been on YouTube and seen Kite and Dave Kalama and all the guys just whizzing around the reefs off Maui in unbroken waves, just foiling their way around. So it's here, and one of the market leaders is Nash, who've put together this foil. The 2AN version is called the Thrust Foil. They have a surf specific version, and it's a very, very good thing. So it's seen many hours of R&D and refinement over the past 3 years. So it's on the market now. So one of the biggest questions is, how do I get into it? Most people do perceive getting their first setup as being a tad expensive and not sure whether they should spend the money on getting a foil specific board and a foil, which can touch, the $4,500 mark or up. The other way of getting into the sport is converting an existing board, which you might already have, and then buying your foil separately to that. So I have one of my customer's boards. He's wanting to get into it, doesn't want to wait for a foil specific board, so I posed the question to him, do you have a board that's suitable? He said, yep. I've got a Hokua X32 9'1", I don't use anymore. Said perfect board. So the board has been converted. So here we have the twin track system. There's three types of affixing a foil to your board. This is the track, which is probably destined to be the most popular. Nice wide mounting, very, very secure. I must stress, however, that the quality of work from the person who installs your tracks has to know what they're doing. They've got to have the right materials, and the whole area has to be bolstered very, very well with the high density foam for maximum strength, as well as heaps of carbon and all the other composites that are used to make sure that it's going to be strong enough, because when you've got upwards of 1/2 metre of foil mast and also your wing, it's a fair bit of stress on a couple of boxes. So this is a permanent mount. You might have also seen some stick-on mounts. So the stick-on mounts I haven't had much experience with, but I think, if you've got a really old board and you're not quite sure, for around $250 you can stick a mount on your board and you're up and running. This is up around the $350 to $400 mark, depending on the boxes you use, but it is stronger. Also, you can see I haven't taken the fins off this board yet. It means you want to go surfing, you take your foil off, put your fins in, you still go surfing. You want to go for a foil, whip the fins out, and your foil, go foil. So it's still a multi-purpose board that you can still surf. And then your other type of mount is the Tuttle, which I have here. So the Tuttle mount is a bolt-through system. So if you can imagine that fitting into a cavity box, and then 2 bolts would then affix the board from the deck. It's probably the strongest of them all, also very, very quick to fit, because you've just got 2 bolts. Here you've got 4, so there's a bit more stuffing around, but the reason I have stuck with a Tuttle box for my own purposes is I also windsurf and wind foil. So windsurf foil boards will be specifically Tuttle box. Now, cost. So if we have a board here that theoretically isn't going to be used anymore, or infrequently, so you've already got the board, you've got your fitting, and then your foil. So for around $2,000, using an existing board, you can be up and running, as opposed to, as I said, over for a whole brand new setup. I would also stress, if you're converting a a SUP to a foil board, use a SUP that you're familiar with. Don't use something that theoretically is the right thing, but then you find you can't paddle it. So anything up to about 9 foot is okay. Once boards start getting up over 9 foot, the fore aft control is pretty tricky. So where possible, go as short as possible, but go stable and stay on a board that you know how to surf. So that's a strong recommendation.
How should someone get started? Is it just grab one, jump out there, or is it come and have a chat? What's the
getting started? Definitely, being so new, there's not many people that have got much experience with the foil SUP as yet. Kiting, I know it's been around for a while. I've converted 2 boards already and been practicing all winter, so I've got a vague idea what it entails. I did do about an hour and a half behind a jet ski, so I just found where to position my weight on the board, what speed to get up on the foil and maintain that. That can be, I think, a good introduction into foiling. I wouldn't spend too long behind a boat though, because the difference between having even power the whole time and being able to ride, and then being able to paddle into a wave and being up on the foil yourself are very, very, very different. So by all means, get behind a boat and have a first go. After that, ideally you have to find a wave which is probably no bigger than chest high, not too steep, and on a high tide, because this will find a reef often. So definitely check your tides before you go. Also crowds, these are a different feel. They don't manoeuvre like a surfboard, and this potentially can be pretty dangerous in a crowded surf break. So be very mindful about how far away you are from people and give them ample space. The preferred waves would be a soft beach break over a sandy bottom as opposed to a reef break, but if you know your own breaks well and you're confident of your own skills, certainly go to your favourite break. And that's the thing, it does pay to go to a wave or an area that you do know. When you paddle one of these things, there's an amazing amount of drag, so when you're just paddling out towards the break, you'll feel like you've got 25 Safeway bags dangled behind your board. There's a lot of resistance. Likewise, when you're paddling onto a wave, you'll need to give a couple of big strokes just to get the board up and going. And then once you get that momentum, you'll know when you've got enough speed required to then start to get up on the foil. It's not essential that you get up on the foil straight away. You can surf these even in white water, just knee high, just to have a sensation of how the foil feels under the water. So, and even then you can hover half mast height. You don't have to have the whole mast out of the water up on the foil.
Perfect. And I guess just to finish, your favourite couple of spots for foiling here around Victoria, or spots you'd recommend, and how do they get in touch with you? Just to obviously chat about this all day.
I can't tell you my favourite spots because then we're getting a secret out. I spend a fair bit of time down at Crunchy Point. I know the crew down there, so I don't get any hassle on the water. I'm a bit of a novelty act down there, I guess, at the moment, because there's no one foiling on that side of the bay. Come in and chat. I can certainly assist you with getting boxes fitted. I can certainly assist you with where and how far off the tail they should be fitted, because that's another very, very important aspect. And we will be running some foil specific sessions from KR through the season, so even if you don't have a foil board, we'll have demos that you can have a go on, just to get the idea. So certainly you can try before you commit, because I understand this is something that's just a little bit different.